In 1994, 3 days of sightings across Zimbabwe culminated in what some believe is the most significant close encounter in modern history.
This is not just another UFO sighting video. The videos we've gathered are the closest we have ever been with alien contact.
It was quite amazing. It was beautiful.
They are saying that Jesus is passing through Africa. That's what they are saying.
Some of the clips you are about to see are beyond shocking and are mostly taken by regular people, which makes things even scarier. The Zimbabwe school encounter, one of the most renowned UFO sightings involving children, took place on September 16, 1994, at the Aerial School in Rua, Zimbabwe. More than 60 students saw a gleaming disc-shaped craft land close to their playground. They described the vehicle as silvery, with flashing lights, and some mentioned odd symbols on its exterior. Small humanoid figures appeared near the craft, apparently communicating telepathic messages about caring for Earth and the planet's future. Initially, many were skeptical, but the children's consistent narratives and psychological evaluations supported their credibility.
How far away were you when you saw him?
Not very far, about a meter away.
A meter away, that close?
Despite numerous investigations by UFO organizations, the incident remains profoundly mysterious, leaving behind questions about possible extraterrestrial encounters and their significance for humanity's future.
The ZBC and the BBC correspondent in Harare saying they sighted an unidentified flying object last night.
The Aguadilla UFO encounter. On April 25, 2013, near Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, a U.S. Customs and Border Protection plane recorded an infrared video capturing a swift, wingless object moving over Rafael Hernandez Airport. The most puzzling aspect was how it seemed to split into two, and then enter and exit the water without any reduction in speed, behavior that defies conventional flight principles. The Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies, SCU, conducted an in-depth review of the footage, concluding that it didn't match known aircraft or natural phenomena. Though it hasn't received as much mainstream attention as some other sightings, it is often hailed by researchers as strikingly compelling, hinting at advanced unknown technologies operating in our skies. The Nimitz encounter. In November 2004, pilots serving in the USS Nimitz carrier group off Southern California reported spotting tic-tac-shaped craft showing astonishing aerial maneuvers. These objects seemed able to change direction and come to abrupt stops in ways far beyond established aerodynamics. Video from Navy targeting cameras later surfaced, revealing craft with no evident propulsion systems. The objects dropped from altitudes as high as 80,000 feet to sea level in mere seconds. National attention soared when the New York Times highlighted the encounter in 2017, tying it to the Pentagon's secret Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. The event's credibility and high-quality evidence have placed it among the most persuasive UFO sightings on record. The Phoenix Lights. Dated March 13, 1997, the Phoenix Lights incident ranks as one of the most thoroughly chronicled mass UFO sightings ever documented. Thousands across Arizona and Nevada witnessed a V-shaped formation of lights traveling in silence and unison, implying a massive object overhead. The U.S. military claimed the lights were flares from a training exercise, a point many observers firmly disputed. Police officers and officials were among the onlookers, adding weight to the event's credibility. Investigations have never conclusively identified the cause, and the Phoenix Lights remain a focal point of UFO interest, inspiring documentaries, books, and a feature film. Over time, the sighting continues to spark intrigue, drawing crowds and researchers who seek to unravel its enduring mystery. The O'Hare International Airport UFO sighting. On November 7, 2006, numerous United Airlines workers at O'Hare International Airport, among them pilots and ground crew, observed a metallic, saucer-like craft floating above Gate C-17. Witnesses said it was silent, hovering for several minutes before shooting skyward and punching a hole through the clouds. Although the FAA attributed the sighting to weather, aviation experts on site rejected that explanation, pointing to the expertise of those who spotted the craft. Investigated by various researchers and showcased in media outlets, this sighting remains perplexing. It's highlighted as a prime example of sophisticated UFO activity in constrained airspace, spurring debates about improved processes for reporting such events in airport environments. The International Space Station UFO sighting. During a live stream from the International Space Station in 2020, people watching online noticed a peculiar, elongated radiant object near the ISS. Social media lit up with discussions ranging from potential space debris or reflections to theories about extraterrestrial craft. NASA and other agencies commonly inspect such events to rule out any hazards but can't always provide definitive answers. Over time, multiple ISS sightings have been noted, revealing how tough it is to discern known occurrences from the unknown in the vastness of space. As our space technology keeps advancing, similar sightings are likely to continue, fueling fascination and debate among both the public and scientific communities. The East Coast gimbal video, captured in January 2015 by the AT-FLIR system aboard a U.S. Navy FA-18 Super Hornet. This remarkable video shows a rotating object gliding at high altitude against fierce winds, all without obvious wings or heat exhaust. The stunned reaction of the pilots highlights how baffling the craft's actions were. One of a handful of videos released as part of the Pentagon's AATIP program, the gimbal clip has reignited public curiosity about unidentified aerial events and stirred conversation in both military and civilian spheres. While hypotheses include everything from advanced foreign tech to extraterrestrial designs, the footage remains a fascinating example of the unexplained capabilities observed in our skies. The Jerusalem UFO. In January 2011, videos surfaced showing a gleaming orb descending above the revered Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, an area of massive spiritual importance. The object paused briefly over the site before suddenly streaking away at impossible speed. These clips sparked widespread debate, with some asserting the event was a genuine extraterrestrial occurrence and others claiming an elaborate hoax. Questions over inconsistent footage and the reliability of eyewitnesses only magnified the mystery. Nevertheless, the extraordinary flight patterns captured on video remained difficult to dismiss outright. Even after meticulous scrutiny by various experts, no consensus has been reached. Today, the Jerusalem UFO event continues to captivate, illustrating our unending quest for answers in the face of baffling sightings. The Nellis Air Force UFO. In 1994, radar operators at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada caught sight of an unknown object moving at remarkable speed during a test flight. The video, which later leaked online, shows the anomaly making abrupt turns and rapid accelerations without any visible propulsion. Military personnel who observed it remarked on the absence of wings or conventional flight surfaces. An official investigation yielded no clear explanation, leaving UFO analysts to conclude it demonstrated capabilities that surpass recognized aircraft technologies. the sighting is still a topic of intrigue among UFO enthusiasts, highlighting the need for further transparency and research on anomalies captured within military airspace. Himalaya UFO sighting. In the isolated grandeur of the Himalayan range, witnesses have documented bright orbs dancing among the peaks at night. These mesmerizing scenes, caught on video by hikers and residents, provoke questions about their true origin. Observers often depict them as luminous objects moving erratically, behavior that challenges standard explanations. While some people suspect atmospheric oddities or optical illusions, others see evidence suggesting something beyond our understanding. The region's spiritual heritage and age-old legends add to the sense of enchantment. Though many possibilities have been explored, these glowing lights continue to fascinate adventurers and theorists alike, augmenting the already awe-inspiring reputation of the Himalayas. The East Coast Go Fast video. Among several clips published by the Pentagon in 2017, this particular footage, dubbed GOFAST, reveals a U.S. Navy jet's thermal imaging system following a swift, wingless object zooming just above the ocean's surface. The astonished pilots can be heard discussing the craft's speed and the absence of any standard flight features like wings or an exhaust trail. Investigated under the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program AATIP, the incident reignited attention on UFOs from both officials and the public. Experts have scrutinized the clip, citing its value for ongoing inquiries into unexplained aerial phenomena that appear to operate outside the scope of recognized aviation technology. Belgian UFO wave. From late 1989 until April 1990, hundreds of residents across Belgium claimed to spot large, silent triangular objects adorned with bright lights at each corner and a red light in the center. On March 30th, 1990, Belgian Air Force F-16s pursued one such craft but failed to successfully target it with radar due to its astonishing speeds and maneuvers. Authorities took the reports seriously, openly debating the implications. Although various theories floated around, from misinterpreted regular planes to deliberate pranks, no definitive answer has emerged. Meticulously documented by the Belgian Society for the Study of Space Phenomena, SOBEPS, this wave of sightings remains one of the most detailed and enduring UFO events, continuing to captivate both believers and skeptics. The Chilean Navy UFO, sometimes referred to as the Chilean Navy UFO case. This remarkable encounter occurred on November 11, 2014, when a Chilean Navy Airbus Cougar S-532 helicopter was carrying out a regular coastal patrol. The crew observed what they initially presumed was a commercial aircraft, only to realize it bore no markings, wings, or visible propulsion. It remained motionless against strong winds and disappeared suddenly after around 9 minutes. Infrared video captured the craft's heat signature and movement, and an official investigation concluded the event couldn't be attributed to known technology or natural incidents. The case was declassified in 2017, drawing global attention and solidifying its status as a significant occurrence in UFO studies. USS Omaha encounter. In 2019, while operating off the coast of California, the USS Omaha recorded multiple unidentified aerial objects that could navigate both in the air and beneath the waves. The ship's advanced radar systems proved ineffective at tracking the craft consistently, as the objects vanished and reappeared inexplicably. In one especially confounding moment, one of the objects appeared to submerge without any noticeable disturbance. Although the Navy verified the authenticity of leaked footage, it offered no conclusive explanation. The USS Omaha case thus stands as a significant example of how these unidentified technologies can elude even state-of-the-art detection, fueling deeper discussions about national security and the limits of current scientific understanding. The Stephenville Lights. On January 8, 2008, the small town of Stephenville, Texas, became the epicenter of a major UFO mystery. Scores of residents, including an experienced pilot, described bright lights in the sky, a huge, noiseless object, possibly the size of a football stadium. Radar analysis carried out by the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, indicated an unknown craft in the area, further piquing public and media interest. Though the U.S. Air Force ultimately disclosed that training flights had taken place, the timeline conflicts spurred doubts and fueled conspiracies. The Stephenville Lights remain a pivotal modern UFO case, still debated and investigated. The fascination it holds underscores our continual intrigue with unexplained sightings and the longing for answers. The Kirtland Air Force Base sighting. The Kirtland Air Force Base UFO sighting happened on November 4, 1957, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's one of those strange events people still talk about. It was around 10:45 p.m. when two Civil Aeronautics Administration controllers, R.M. Kaser and E.G. Brink, saw something odd while working in the control tower. They noticed a white light moving across the airfield that seemed to maneuver in ways they weren't used to seeing. The controllers grabbed their binoculars and saw an egg-shaped object, about 15 to 20 feet tall, with a white light at the bottom. This mysterious thing hovered near the control tower for about a minute, then took off eastward, climbing into the cloudy sky. Radar operators confirmed they picked up a target in the area, which also showed some strange, high-speed movements. The Air Force looked into it as part of Project Blue Book, their UFO investigation program. Their conclusion? It was probably just a small plane whose pilot mistakenly tried to land at Kirtland AFB. But the controllers weren't convinced, thinking the Air Force's explanation didn't match what they saw. The Val Johnson incident. It all went down in the early hours of August 27, 1979, when Deputy Sheriff Val Johnson was patrolling a quiet stretch of highway near Stephen, Minnesota. Around 1:40 a.m., he noticed a bright light hovering above the ground in the distance. Curious, he drove towards it, but before he knew it, the light rushed toward him at an alarming speed. He described the light as blinding and painful, and then suddenly heard the sound of breaking glass. The next thing he knew, he was out cold. Johnson woke up about 39 minutes later, dazed and confused, with a bump on his head and eyes that felt burned. His patrol car was a mess, its windshield shattered, a headlight broken, and antennas bent at a sharp angle. Even stranger, both his watch and the car's clock had mysteriously stopped for exactly 14 minutes. The incident attracted UFO investigators, but no one could really explain what happened that night. While skeptics thought it might have been staged, Johnson stuck to his story, clearly baffled by the entire experience. The Allagash abductions. The Allagash abductions is a pretty crazy UFO story from August 1976. Four friends, Jim Weiner, Jack Weiner, Charles Foltz, and Tom Reed, were out camping and canoeing in the remote Allagash wilderness in Maine. Everything was going great until the night of August 27th. While hanging around the campfire, they spotted a strange, bright light in the sky. At first, they thought it might be an aircraft, but as it got closer, it was totally silent and moved in ways that just didn't make sense. Then things took a strange turn. The light hovered above them, and they suddenly lost track of time. Later, they recalled being taken aboard a spacecraft where they saw humanoid beings and underwent what they described as medical exams. Fast forward a few years, and the guys underwent hypnosis, which seemed to pull out even more details about their experience. Ufologist Raymond Fowler jumped in to investigate and even wrote a book about it, bringing the story into the spotlight. The Shag Harbor. The Shag Harbor incident is a standout UFO event in Canadian history. It happened on the night of October 4th, 1967, in the tiny fishing village of Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia. Around 11:20 p.m., folks in the area saw a glowing object flying low over the harbor. It wasn't long before they heard a weird whistling sound followed by a loud bang as the object crashed into the water. Local residents and police were quick to react. Laurie Wickens and his friends, driving down Highway 3, spotted the object hitting the water and thought it was a plane crash. They called the RCMP, who arrived on the scene within minutes. The RCMP quickly reached out to the Rescue Coordination Center in Halifax, but despite their efforts, the object began to sink and vanished. Search teams from local fishing boats, the Coast Guard, and even the Canadian Navy scoured the area, but no debris or survivors were found. Over the years, investigations continued, with some witnesses suggesting there might have been multiple objects involved and even some underwater activity. Do you guys really believe aliens are among us? Or do you consider all of this to be a conspiracy and people's lies to gain attention and publicity? Let us know in the comments.